And the ramifications can be huge. For something just a little bit, or something that's going to last through generations. All based upon a lie. And you think you stink. You think you stink now? Wait till 10 years from now. Wait till 15 years from now and 20 years from now. You think you stink bad now. If you're believing this lie and you're acting upon this lie, you're going to just continue to stink. You got to get out of that rut. You got to start hearing God. And begin now using biblically correct thinking. The other thing is, in godly thinking, about not only myself, but also about my family and friends, who we think all stink. Maybe not everybody, but some stink worse than others. So easy, isn't it, to see the negative, to see the faults, and to be critical and to be judgmental of other people. Someone said this a long time ago, and it resonates so clearly with me, and I try to analyze this in myself every single day. Why is it that I can see my faults so clearly in you? And you do the same thing. We all do. And it is an absolute truth. We have a tendency to be critical and judgmental and negative about the faults of ours that we see in other people. And we can see them so clearly. Why is that? Are my thoughts lovely? Paul says if they're lovely, those things that are lovely, think about those. Sometimes it's really hard, isn't it? We battle with that, don't we? I mean, it's sometimes people really let you down. People are filled with flaws. They make mistakes. They make wrong choices. And we have tendency to think anything but lovely thoughts. Winsome thoughts, pleasing thoughts, attractive thoughts. Do my thoughts about others, I'm asking this for you as well as for me, do my thoughts for others increase love? Do they increase friendship? Do they increase goodwill? Of course they do with people that are not stupid and I am having good relationship with at the time. But then when they do something I'm critical, judgmental, and negative about, they stink. And I don't have any lovely, winsome, pleasing, attractive, amiable thoughts about them. That's my struggle. That's your struggle. Because we're not using godly thinking. We're fixating on the wrong instead of looking for the lovely. And it is hard, isn't it, sometimes? I mean, that is the thing of life. Why is it harder to see the good and the God in a situation than it is to see the scupula? You guys remember scupula, don't you? The Greek word for, bad stuff. Dung, manure. Use whatever word you want to use. Why is it that we're prone to the darkness? I'll tell you why. Because we all want to be God. And you need to go back, and we all need to go back and review the movie Bruce Almighty. I'll never get tired of prescribing that for people until people understand they're not God, that other people do make mistakes, that we need to be people full of grace, mercy, and forgiveness. And we're, instead of judgmental and critical and negative, we're going to continue to think others stink. They stink. But let's start doing biblical thinking, godly thinking, and looking for the lovely, looking for what's best, looking for what's good and kind, and thinking pure thoughts, morally clean thoughts about others. Look for the good. Especially you parents, when you see your kids. You're no different than pastors at churches. When you look at your kids, it seems like you always find them when they're doing something wrong. If the little kids were in here, they'd be like, amen, preacher, yeah. I always find us when they're doing something wrong. How many times do we find them when they're doing right? How many opportunities do we share with them how much we appreciate them and speak lovely and things and words and blessings to them? How often do we do that? How often do we catch them doing something good and praise them for that? Do we think about our kids and always think about what they're doing? I shared with you last week about I get up every Sunday. My battle is with Satan every Sunday because I have a heart and care and concern for this fellowship. And I get up every Sunday and I know problems and I know people that are not here or people, and my struggle is now to begin to think dark thoughts and wonder what's wrong. And so people ask me this week, Tom, what's wrong? I said, no, that's my struggle. That's my struggle. Just as you have different struggles as parents. And it's so easy for us to default when we see our kids. Hey, that's wrong. Come on, straighten it up, straighten up. Do this, do that. Well, we kind of have a default to the negative. And I got to change it. And I pray for God, all right, instead of looking at who isn't here worshiping God, who isn't doing something right, how about the larger portion of who's doing what's right? Who's doing that which is good, that which is lovely, that which is winsome? My goodness, that surpasses the negative every single week. Do you realize that? I mean, it's a revelation to me. I need to be reminded. Do you? I hope you do. And we need to continue to fight that good fight. People, we all don't stink. You're lovely. You're good. You're the people that Jesus died for. And so then the third thing is godly thinking is that I choose to think godly about my circumstances. And again, when junk happens in life, as it will. It comes. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. When the stuff of life that comes, we can become bitter and we can say life stinks. And, as selfish people that we all are to various degrees of selfishness, we begin to think not only life stinks, but life stinks just for me. It's all roses for you and you and you. But for me, it really stinks. And we look at other people, oh, they got it so good. They're so successful. They must be so happy. Did anybody read on the wires about the most recent craziness in the corporate world? Mark Hurd. Anybody read about Mark Hurd, CEO for Hewlett Packard? Man, dude is a basquillionaire guy. He's got everything he ever, you think materially you need. I mean, he is the epitome of the world's idea of success. Right? Yeah. Well, of course, I could go off on another sermon about success. But people are looking at these things and making a determination. Oh, he's so happy. He's gotten great success. And the guy is now the embarrassment of the corporate world. It's just absolutely amazing. Some chick, contractor for the company, that he was having some kind of crazy relationship with, and forged some expense reports to a grand total of, catch this, $20,000. I mean, he's a squabillionaire. And he's forging these documents for 20 grand. There wasn't anything that happened with them, but he just forged this, and it's just stupid. You think he's happy? You think he's at peace? When will we quit worshiping the world and worshiping what we perceive to be success because of monetary, which is huge in America? People still will bow down to people because simply they have a bunch of money. Sports heroes bow down to sports, worship the sports, everything about the sports, raise our kids up to be the sports. It's all about the sports. It's going to be their happiness. Life circumstances. And if I don't have all the money, and if I don't have all the material goods, and I don't have all the physical stuff, then my life stinks. And it stinks a lot worse than yours. Life stinks. And we look at all the junk that's going on in the world, life stinks. And we forget, God's in control.